Hi, this is Makeup by Tina08 featuring Rachel.
Hello.
I know I've never seen my face before, and this is a really sucky video. But I've been told by a lot of my friends to start up my channel again, aka her. This one right there. And rename my kind of video channel stuff. TMI time with Martina, because I have a lot of fun stories that are people might consider TMI, which is short for too much information. In case you didn't know, the more you know. So yeah, that's a little for background. I just kind of started recording this video on a whim, so it probably looks really sucky quality. Like look probably really sucky. And I didn't really think about a TMI story to tell, but I will. I mean, I thought of one, but it's like my best one. I don't know. I can tell you about the time I peed my pants while taking the ACT in 8th grade. Is that a good one?
Sure.
Rachel, that's Rachel. She said it was a good one. So, I was kind of a smart kid. I'm still smart. I'm in college, so I don't know. Hopefully, I'm smart. So they offered for when I was in 8th grade that I could take the ACT, just to try to see how it was. So my parents signed me up, and we showed up there, and I used the bathroom at home, and they're like, we showed up, and a lot of people would go in the bathroom, like, do you need to use the bathroom? I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. So I'm like, they're like, okay, so we go in, and start taking the test. The first one's like reading or English, I can't remember. And the second one's math. And then, so after math is done, then you get like a break and use the bathroom. And about halfway through the math section, or like at the beginning, I don't even remember, I started having to use the bathroom. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay. I'm like squirming around my seat, like, like squeeze the pee up, like hit your pelvis and like squeeze it up to your stomach. Because you gotta squeeze the pee up, you know? So I'm trying to squeeze the pee up, and it's not working. And I really have to go. So I'm like, okay. So I like raise my hand on the practical. So I'm like, can I use the bathroom? And she's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, I need to use the bathroom. I gotta pee. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, scrubbing. I'm like, not even reading through the questions, just trying to fill them out as quick as I can. So I'm like, and I come up to him. I'm like, raise my hand. I'm like, okay. I'm done with the test. I'm like, okay, can I go to the bathroom now? And she's like, no, you have to wait till the break. I'm like, oh my god. So at this point in time, I'm gonna try to sit this down. This is a really bad angle. So I'm like rubbing my legs like, because I gotta pee really badly. And the proctor comes over and she's like, can you please quiet down? Because that can be distracting to some of the other students. And I'm like, I gotta pee. I'm like, can I use the bathroom? She's like, you have to wait. So I'm like, oh my god. So at this point in time, some of the other classrooms that have started up the test early are getting out because I see the people walking by in the hallway. I'm like, I can make it. I can make it. And so she's like, okay, everyone, time is up. Close your tests. Right now, we are going to start the break. And I'm just like, hurry up, shut up, let me leave. And she's like, we are going to be taking 15 minutes, and you must be back in here by the time it starts. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna pee my pants, so shut up. And then she's like, okay, you can go. And like, as she's saying, like, you can go, my bladder burst. I pee. And it's not just a little bit. Like, people, when I say my pee, I just think it's a little, like a dribble or something. No, it keeps going, and I try to stop it, but I can't. I try to clench it, and I'm like, nope. And it's like dripping down my legs. I can see it dripping on the seat. This has carpeting in this room. I'm like, oh my god, I'm peeing my pants. And then I just start bursting out. Everyone's like leaving the room. There's like one or two people like left that didn't leave the room. This person, like the proctor, she's like, why are you crying? I'm like, and she's like, can you guys, she told the other people, she's like, can you guys leave the room momentarily? She's like, why are you crying? I'm like, I peed my pants. And she's like, what? Like, I can't hold it. And then she's like, and so she asked someone. And then, stuff happens. And so they get someone in there, they move the desk, they make sure no one can come back in. And I thankfully had a sweatshirt, so I was able to tie it around my waist. And so I call my mom, I'm like, I need my pants, can you bring me some pants? And she's like, what happened? She's like, oh my gosh. So basically, next test had started. I'm just sitting in this chair, pee on my legs, wet pants. Like, this is freaking embarrassing. And then they call me out in the middle of the room because my mom's there. And then, my mom sees, and like, it's wet all the way down to like my knees, my pants are. And I changed it to a different pair of blue jeans. On the time, I only had like 2 pair of blue jeans, like light wash and dark wash. So I changed from my light wash to my dark wash jeans. And so I come back in, and I take my sweatshirt off, and I hope no one notices that my pants are different colors. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so afterwards, they're like, hey, why did you leave in the middle of the thing? I'm like, my mom thought the test was done early and was there to pick me up. Like, I didn't know what to say. And I was so embarrassed. I, like, did not tell anyone, like, I peed my pants taking the ACT in 8th grade until, like, 2 years later because I was that embarrassed. It's, like, to this day, probably the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. Other than maybe the part when I asked a guy to a dance and he turned me down. That was also kind of embarrassing, but on a different level. Not public humiliation, but again, I don't know how many people noticed that this happened, but it happened. And my dad was really mad and like had the proctor call me on the phone that evening, and she apologized to me. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't let you go," but she's like, "If you told me that you really had to go, then maybe I would have let you go. I would have made an exception." I'm like, I told you I had to go. Like, what the frick do you want me to do? My dad's like, you should just walk out of the room. I'm like, I didn't know what to do. I was in 8th grade, so I knew before that for the next time I took the ACT for real, like in like my junior year, then I actually went to the bathroom beforehand and I peed during the break, and I like didn't have like any water between it. Like, wasn't a deal for me. But yeah, and when I went to high school, the next year, I walked by that room and I noticed it used to have carpeting, and then they took the carpeting out and now it has tile in it. So I'm not saying that's due to what happened with me peeing my pants, but it might have been. And I just feel bad for that person who has to sit in that desk and chair that I peed in. And I don't know if they cleaned that or what, but who knows. Well, I hope you enjoyed my TMI story time with Martina, featuring Rachel. And sorry this video quality is not the best, but it's not about the video quality, it's about the story quality, and that's what we're about here. So thanks for watching. Comment with your embarrassing peeing yourself in public, your TMI story times ideas you have. Maybe I'll share them in another video with your TMI story times. I'd love to watch some of yours. And thanks for watching. Thumbs up and subscribe if you want to hear more embarrassing stories from me, and that way you can realize you're not the only one who goes through these bad things. Bye.